and participate, done that. So. Okay.
How do we know we're live?
We are live.
How do we know?
Because it says live on the camera. So hello everybody.
Hello.
This is strange. We haven't done this for quite some time. I think since COVID. Would that be right?
Yeah.
So we're just doing a live video chat today. We're going to talk a little bit about a video that's coming out next Monday.
Next Monday,
the 18th of September.
Yeah.
About bunkers for beginners and people who are really struggling in sand. So that's going to be an interesting video for you all to watch. I was coaching Joe out of the sand, so there was a few shots that didn't go quite right, and then there was some shots that went really well.
I thought I did all right.
I thought you did well, and there's a crazy tip in there, wasn't there? A cheat.
It was a cheat.
A cheat
I like
in
the way
there.
you called it a cheat.
Yeah, it's just a different way of holding the golf club that makes it easier to get out of the sand, so that'll be well worth a watch. And what else are we looking at today, Joe?
So coming up today, we've got the 3 hints and tips on bunkers.
Yeah.
We've also got our look back in history and our year of golf focus, which is 1997.
1997.
When I was only 3.
You wish.
And the craziest golf rules. Oh my goodness me! You would not believe the crazy golf rules that they have.
It's there's a couple that I would like to change that I think would make it fairer for golfers, but there are going to be some strange rules in there.
Oh,
you know, a little bit of fun as far as that's concerned.
Yeah.
So we're not quite sure.
Let's have a look. See if anybody's joined us.
Who's watching, or if anybody
Oh, it does actually say we're live.
Is watching.
Do you know
this.
the fundamental mistake that we made was that we didn't tell anybody we were going live.
Yeah,
well,
that's a slight issue.
Anyway, we're a bit rusty,
cool,
but yeah.
YouTube seems to be able. So what's live on there then, Joe?
I don't know. Is that so? That's your channel.
It looks that way. Anyway, so
right. So you've got 3 tips coming up for bunkers today.
Yeah.
So let's crack on with the first one. What's the first one?
The first one is not to stand open with your stance. So everybody tells you to aim. If you're a right-handed golfer, tells you to aim left and open up the club face. That'd be my number one not to do.
I'll tell you what though, when we were actually filming it in the bunker, and you showed me how people used to teach playing out bunkers, I was like, you were never going to get it out like that because that was a different club. So
it was old golf clubs, but when the new clubs came out, the actual modern, what we would call a modern sandwich now came out, they didn't change the technique from the old golf clubs. So they had to set up open and use the back of the golf club to get the ball to pop out, but they don't have to do that now. So
do you know what? The main thing about bunkers though, it's a head game, isn't it? I mean, I know golf's mostly a head game, but in the bunkers, oh my goodness me, when you got me to like just get into the bunker, I got into the bunker and my heart started to race.
Yeah.
Just standing in the bunker.
And you came up with a great analogy of the word fear.
Oh yeah, fear. Do you know, so fear stands for false evidence appearing real.
Yeah. So
how you apply that to a bunker is like, do you know what, it's not like the end of the world, is it? You know,
it's not that hard.
Well, it's not hard for you, because I mean, it's your favourite thing, isn't it, playing that bunkers? But
it is mine, but with the right technique, sand is actually an opportunity rather than something to fear.
Do you know the thing about fear is though, fear is brought on by too much expectation that you put on yourself. Generally speaking, you know.
I'm going to say old wives' tale as well. People say, oh, I don't mean the bunkers are really hard. So everybody starts to believe they're really hard, but not necessarily the truth.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, if you're practising, it's going to make it easier, isn't it? But,
yeah, definitely. But
yeah, oh my goodness me, my heart started to race. I was like getting myself under pressure. And then when you put the camera in my face... let's just do a YouTube video if you're getting about bunkers. Woo!
So normally people would have a lesson, it's just one-on-one and we're somewhere quiet getting people out of sand, but to have you, it was actually on the 18th hole at a little golf course that we use with a camera and a cameraman. That definitely adds a little bit of extra tension, I must say. But
anyway, and it was really hot.
It was hot, wasn't it?
I realised that I was really trying my best to concentrate, but it was like 35 degrees. Was it 30 degrees Celsius or something like that? And I kept saying, "Oh, it's getting a bit hot in this bunker."
Yeah.
It was getting a bit hot on it. But anyway.
So we definitely changed the way that you address the golf ball.
Yeah,
That was number one, wasn't
Yeah.
it? What else can you remember learning in
Well, we're not going to do that yet because we're going to do the look back to. Well, let me give you some really interesting quotes about bunkers. There's loads, but one of the favourite ones was Annika Sorensen.
Oh yeah.
Bunkers are not obstacles; they are opportunities to showcase your creativity and finesse.
Oh, I love that. Love that.
Was I doing that?
I think you did in the end.
Did I?
Whether you were doing that on purpose, but you definitely got the ball out of the sand so
I've
much
got
easier.
creativity. Martin, score me out of 10. Creativity.
From
From
the start to where you were, it was a 10 because the technique was completely different.
It's a bit like when your wife says to you, "Oh, what do I look like today?" You daren't say rubbish.
No, you don't.
Nancy Lopez apparently said bunkers are the equalisers of the game. They don't discriminate. They challenge everyone.
I would totally agree. Yeah,
I think you just show off this because you like bunkers. That's your thing, anyway. So anyway, right. Let's have a look back at 1997. So
why did you choose 97?
I'll just completely choose 1997 completely randomly. Yeah.
So did you know that Tiger Woods was going to burst onto the scene then?
Did he? No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, as a 21-year-old, won the Masters. Yeah.
Wow. So what was that like for you as a watcher?
Magnificent.
Was it?
Just mind-blowing what he was capable of doing, and some of the shots that was hitting into the par 5, some of the clubs had never been heard of before.
Really?
So he kind of shocked the golfing world in 1997.
Did he?
Yeah, he did.
Do you know what? I was just likening it to something else that was going on in 1997 as well, or maybe just before that. It was the Spice Girls.
Yeah.
So for me, like the Spice Girls, like burst into my living room. The same as Tiger Woods as a golfer.
They were shocked, weren't they?
I know, but was Tiger Woods like the same then?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. So he kind of did a famous interview. He said, like his very first thing, "Hello World," and that was he just got a lot of press coverage from that. And then the first round, I think I'm correct in saying that he on the front nine he had a 40, and on the back nine he had a 30, and he thought, is this person for real?
Yeah.
And then the next 12 years nobody really saw him. So yeah, I would say that was momentous. Yeah. Because he proved what was capable, what a golfer was really capable of, and definitely took it to another level.
The only thing I keep hearing now in my head is, tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
I want to get out of bunkers in 1997.
Tell you what, maybe there's a new song there, isn't there? A combination of Tiger Woods and the Spice Girls. 1997, yeah. So I like to say I was only 3, so I don't remember it that well. Anyway, so the second tip of the bunker. So the first bunker tip, as I say, there's a video coming out on Monday, which will tell you about this anyway. So first is get these parallel to target.
Yeah.
Second tip.
Swing more upright in your backswing. The more upright you can make the backswing, the easier it is for the club to hit the sand. If the swing goes around the body, so it's what we call too flat, that makes it easy to hit the top of the golf ball, and that's a struggle to get over the sand. So definitely more upright is good. The way you do it is through using your wrists. So if there's the backswing, you want the wrist to go this way and not this way. So that
do you know what? I think I know why that comes in, isn't it? Because a lot of us used to play like hockey, field hockey in the UK, or tennis or baseball or cricket. They're all like round, aren't they? Golf's got it's up. Really,
it's got to work up in much more so in sand and actually a lob shot. So if you were playing a lob shot, you would do something very similar in the backswing. Lob shot is where you hit it high and stop it on the green. Yeah.
Do you know what? We're very lucky because we have actually got some people watching.
Oh, cool.
I'm not going to tell you how many.
That's all right. Maybe one.
My dad has got a famous saying, hasn't he? From acorns, great oak trees grow.
Yeah.
So we have actually got some people watching.
Excellent.
So if you are there, we know you're there.
Drop us a comment.
Yeah, drop us a comment. Either way, what were you doing in 1997? That's what we want to know. If it's shareable.
Definitely. If it's shareable, yeah.
What about the other guy in 1997 as well?
Ian Baker Finch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ian Baker Finch.
Very famous golfer. Won the Open Championship. Beautiful golfer, great golf swing, and totally lost his confidence.
If you don't know about him, read about his golf. Really, he was crying.
Yeah, it's. I mean, golf is such a passionate game, isn't it? We're all into it for the same reason. And when you can't do it all of a sudden, when you were at an elite level, and then you suddenly can't do it, that's heartbreaking.
Fine.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
1997 was the day that he was when he bowed out. But in 1995, do you know what he did in 1995? 2 years before, very famous happening. Let's call it a very
Was
famous
that
happening.
in the Open Championship? Was that?
It was, yeah.
Oh right, okay.
Where?
I can't remember.
Do you know what? There's a picture on the wall. There's a picture on the wall there.
St Andrews.
Yeah.
Was that when he hit it out of bounds? On
Yeah,
the first?
so. Yeah.
Because that is a long way to hit that out of bounds. I did get a club here just in case I needed to demonstrate something.
Is that? Do you absolutely remember that then? Yeah.
I do. Yeah, it was a shock because it's that wide. It's really hard to hit it out of bounds.
Wow.
Somebody else nearly hit it out of bounds not long ago, but anyway. Tremendous.
What actually happened though? He was in the mind frame. He totally lost his confidence. So
I heard that he was absolutely fine in practice, and then when it actually mattered, couldn't do it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So completely lost his
heartbreaking,
confidence.
really. Yeah.
Have you ever cried?
Yes.
Have you? Go on, tell
Have I ever? Well, I packed up golf for 3 months. So when I put all the work in to try and qualify for the Open Championship, and I put a lot of work in.
You did. I
And
remember that.
when I actually played in the qualifying event, I think I nearly finished last, and I thought it was completely unfair, and I tried really hard, and the wind was in a different direction. And I thought, golf's cool, I'm packing up, I ain't doing this anymore, so I packed up for a bit.
Do you know what? You'll probably get this. If you've been together for a while, like we have, you've heard these stories over and over and over again, haven't you? I've heard that story how many times at dinner parties and stuff.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad. So somebody just said hello?
Yeah, indeed. Olivier, I think, in France, saying hello.
Yeah.
Nice to see the two of you. Cheers from the south of France.
Hey, thumbs up to you. Thanks for watching.
Like in France, the south of France today.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've done tip number 1. We've done number 2. Let's have a look at these crazy golf rules. Here's one for you.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. You ready?
Go for it. I used to be all right on rules, but a lot have changed, so I'm intrigued.
I mean, I didn't expect this to be like a test.
It's not really a test.
No, it's not. No. So here's the rule, the crazy rule. What happens if my ball gets embedded in a piece of fruit?
Rare.
If you hit your ball
and it lands in
a banana, in it. What if my ball gets embedded inside a piece of fruit?
God, that's an interesting one, because like if you're in an audience and or you're watching a spectator, and suddenly Tiger's golf ball lands in your piece of fruit. Well, first off, you're going to become incredibly famous if that happens.
So you start there eating your melon, and Tiger Woods' golf ball lands in the melon.
Now. My first instinct would be you get a free drop. Go on.
Where's the answer? It said you've got to play the ball / fruit as it lies.
So
you've got to play the melon.
Okay, so if it's on the floor and it's gone in that, you've got to play it as it lies. That's going to be an interesting show, isn't it?
Hit a melon or a banana.
Well, I suppose, yeah. If it lands in a divot, you've got to play it from a divot. What's the difference? I don't suppose they're meant to be on golf courses, piece of fruit, but that's interesting.
So
I've never seen that.
Here's the thing: has anybody actually had their golf ball land in a bit of fruit? I mean, that's what I really want to know.
And then taking a free drop, and if you take, I believe if you do the rule wrong, you're going to get a 2-shot penalty. So that's a bit unfair, isn't it? Okay,
we should try and do that. We should try and replicate that rule in the academy. I'll get a melon or a pineapple or something.
On one condition.
What?
You clean it up.
Oh yeah, no, that's not me then. Bunker quotes.
So we've had Annika. And we've had
Lee Trevino. Bunkers are like the sand traps of life. You either get buried or find a way to rise above.
Well done, Lee. Yeah.
I don't want to get buried. I don't want to do it.
No, you don't want to.
But anyway.
There must be one from Seppi.
I don't know. Come on, that's all.
Must be.
Oh yeah, Sally. A great bunker shot is a work of art blending technique and imagination.
Awesome. He had both.
He did. You like him?
One of the best bunker players you'll ever see.
Do you know who he was? There is a quote about him saying, people say that I end up too often in bunkers. I think because he's quite good at them. I can't remember what the end bit was.
It was sensational.
Was it? Yeah, again.
In the sun, yeah, definitely.
Do you know when we were doing the bunker video the other day, we were talking about, language, on a serious point, language, because bunkers are called hazards. So instantly you think, oh, danger, hazard, okay?
Problem.
So there's a very famous explorer in the UK. Do you call him an explorer? Bear Grylls?
Yeah.
Explorer?
Yeah.
Very famous explorer called Bear Grylls, yeah. And he doesn't set an alarm clock in the morning. He sets an opportunity clock. So there we have it.
Well,
but words do make a difference. Words do make a difference, don't they?
Definitely what you tell yourself going into the sand is vital. So if you say, I can't do this, guess what?
Yeah.
You can't get out of sand, even if you've got good technique, because your brain's doesn't really that can't, and then you definitely can't get out, can you?
Yeah,
So
that's right.
so positive. What do you want to do rather than what you can't do is a much better approach, isn't it? In life.
And you know what? I must dig out the reference because I was listening to somebody the other day that said that scientifically now there is proof that what you think will actually happen. Do you know what I'm saying? I need to find out the thing, but it was such a really good piece of research. So I think when I'm in the bunker, inadvertently, to stop myself feeling fear, because I'm going on a YouTube video and all that sort of stuff, I'm saying to myself, I can do this. That's like positive self-talk.
Yeah,
okay?
definitely.
So you need to be aware about what's going on in your mind and change it to a more positive self-talk. Now I'm putting that out there for you to experiment with. Ultimately, you can't solve a problem of the mind with the mind. That's a bigger conversation than we've got today. But it helps by going, I can do this, as opposed to I can't do it. So that's a mind frame tip, isn't it?
I mean, if you definitely want to fail, tell yourself you can't do it.
That's right, yeah.
So when I used to have lessons with a guy called Pete Cowan, who's a very, very famous golf coach, I used to get a little bit angry. And I remember hitting a shot, Pete won't remember this, and I didn't hit it very well, and I actually banged my club in the floor. He said, Julian, you're not good enough to get angry, get curious.
Oh, that's interesting.
So Pete encouraged me to get more curious with what was actually happening, and because I became more curious, I realised my mistakes. But more importantly, I could fix them. But when that red mist comes down, you can't see the wood for the trees, can you? So
that's interesting that you said that you're not good enough to get angry.
Yeah, who is really at the end of the day? But and you could play with some people out there who are just awful to play with because they're angry golfers, but ultimately have they actually checked in with themselves? Go, you know what? Am I good enough to get angry, or should I just figure this stuff out? It's much nicer to play with that.
Yeah, it just reminded me about hurdlers. Right, hurdlers do not have a single doubt before they go into the hurdles, because if they did, they hit the hurdle.
Brilliant.
So somehow you've got to develop your own techniques. We've got a few, but at least become aware of your self-talk when you're coming into the bunker, and be aware of your heart rate. And take some breaths out is a really good way. Control your breathing and control your stress response. It's
and
good,
one of the reasons we set up proper golfing and to do all the structured learning there is to just do it in an organised way. I mean, just random learning sometimes can be a bit chaotic. Because you follow one person and they talk about something else, and then you go to somebody else, and if they don't blend together, then you're going to be in a real state of flux, aren't you? And you are going to struggle then. So well worth thinking about, is the way that you're learning, are you doing it in a structured way, or is it a bit shotgun approach and hope you're going to get better? Because hoping you're going to get better is probably not going to work now.
How many videos have we actually got on bunkers in the Proper Golfing Academy? Because we're talking about highlights here, aren't we, and hints and tips, but strategically improving your game. I don't know how many he's got. Every time I look at it, I think, how many flipping videos have we got in there?
I would think, in the video library, because there's, you need to understand how to set up, for instance. You need to understand the swing technique. You need to understand about your golf club, what's called a bounce on it. You also, there's an understanding of how you move sand. and it's what we call the ripple effect.
Yeah, I love that.
And if you could ripple the sand over the back of the golf club correctly, you're going to move sand correctly, you're going to spin the ball correctly, you get the right heights, and on landing it won't suddenly go sideways. So with the old technique, when you're hitting across the line of the ball, that was putting a side spin onto it. So it's very difficult to hole shots if you were spinning it the wrong way. So yeah, there's a lot to learn in sand to simplify it, if that makes sense.
What was that Einstein quote?
About simplicity.
Yeah, I love that.
Fabulous, isn't it? Yeah.
We're saying it's fabulous. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to put it in the chat. But everything should be made simple, but not too simple.
Yes.
Something like that. I'm loving that.
Yeah, he was quite a clever chap, wasn't he?
He was a bit clever, wasn't he? He was a bit clever. Anyway, then third and final thing about the bunkers. So we've done parallel to target. We've done your swing.
More upright
Third
backswing. Finish your swing, which means get the club to go over your shoulder. Nearly got you. A guaranteed way to leave the golf ball in the sand is to stop as soon as you've hit the ball, because you've got no speed and you're hitting sand between club face and ball. That's like a great big cushion. It's completely squashes, stops any speed, and therefore there's never enough acceleration to get the ball to come out the sand. So ideally, how far back you swing, try and make sure you finish the same distance on the follow through. So if you have a long backswing and stop, that's going to make you really inconsistent out of bunkers. So finish your golf swing and video yourself. I say this all the time, don't I?
Video yourself.
Video yourself so you can actually see what you're doing. And I would do it from two places. I would do it from what we call face on, so that you can see how far your swing's going. And then if you do it from the side angle, then you can see where your body's aiming and if you're making the club upright in the backswing rather than around the body. So video yourself from two places and then watch it back, because it's a powerful way of learning, isn't it?
Yeah. Or if you just want to see somebody doing it badly, watch the video on Monday. All these things he's talking about, I did them all. Well, yeah, it was a good demonstration about how not to do.
Yeah, and one other thing that I would add, so that there's quite a lot of stuff that we talk about, but make sure you don't stand too far away from the ball as well when you're setting up. So the further you stand away from the ball, the more you're stretching, the more rounded your golf swing tends to become. So you're better off being a little bit closer so that you can swing more upright. So another crazy tip. So should we let loose the little cheat or not?
No, sorry about that. You have to watch the video on Monday, released on Monday night, 7 o'clock UK time, I think, to find out what the little cheat is.
Yeah,
I know the word cheat, but I was trying to put a title on
really
YouTube and I put big cheat. No, you're not a cheat. But anyway, I like the word cheat.
It's a technique that helps you move the club correctly that you probably don't see very often. I'm going to see incredibly rarely.
I liked it. It's a good tip. It's a good cheat.
And it works.
It's a good cheat.
That's a really cool thing, yeah.
So anyway, we've had a nice one. So just to remind you that we are here in Royal Leamington Spa. It's a beautiful place to visit. So you can come for personal coaching here with Julian in our indoor simulator. Like the guy who I was talking to the other day, who is coming from Canada to visit his grandson, and while he's in London, he's going to come and have some coaching here. So you can always tag on. We're next to a beautiful hotel called the Mellor. It's a 5-star, really beautiful English countryside hotel, isn't it? We're here now looking over like rural Warwickshire, a place called Warwickshire. We're next to Stratford-on-Avon. We've got Warwick Castle. It's absolutely beautiful. So if you want to do some coaching, tag on holidays, you can email me or Julian and we can set that up for you, because it really is a beautiful place. Talking about beautiful places as well, I've been too well, so I was a bit late sending out the invites to Portugal. So we've got actually 4 very rare spaces available for Portugal at Kingston Marina in October the 29th. And it's a fantastic place to go. Again, we've got a couple of people coming from America and they're tagging on a trip to Lisbon. If you've never been to Lisbon, oh my life, it's fantastic. So while we're there, we're going to go and visit Lisbon as well. It's a 20-minute journey. I know the flights are direct from the USA. So yeah, we're very fortunate.
So in the week, we do a lot of coaching and playing.
Yeah.
It's also an opportunity to get away from home. and just solely concentrate on your golf. So we tend to work on the swings in the morning. So we do long game and short game over the whole week. Then in the afternoon we go and play. So I walk round. We supervise the playing. So if there's issues on the golf course, we help people with all that as well. And then in the evening, it's just a beautiful way of spending a week, and really indulging yourself in your golf game, which doesn't happen that very often. So
I think the other point to notice as well, a lot of people say to me, "Oh, what, you're playing golf every day?" Well, you don't have to. We've had plenty of people visit. We had a couple from America recently. Sometimes they would only play 6 holes on a buggy, and that was enough for them. So there is no pressure, and I think that's what often people think about golf trips, is that it's very competitive. It's not. It's totally relaxed. You don't have to play as much golf. You know, you get your coaching in the morning, and we get an optional day off as well, so you can go and visit Portugal if you like. But so it's we call it immersive, but the choices are all yours really. But I just particularly love Quinta de Marina. It's a fantastic venue. We know the owners there. It's 5-star all the way, so that's coming up in October. But anyway, so we've got a busy week coming up next week. Our daughter is eventually, if you're based in the UK, the summer holidays seem to go on forever. So she's now back at school, isn't she? Thank goodness for that. And then you've got a 1-day course next week at the Oxfordshire, so we've got a nice
that's really good.
But we're really just interested to know what sort of videos that you'd like us to put out. Our next one, we're going to actually film a guy live on a golf course, aren't we? Doing a playing.
So I'm coaching Barry, who's one of the members of Proper Golfing.
Hi, Barry.
And we're going to do a playing lesson, but we're going to film it and probably pick out 10 different things that, how we can help him improve his golf, not necessarily by changing his golf swing. There could be all sorts of little things in there that can help lower the score without changing golf swing. So there'll be at least 10 tips, I would think, in that one to just help everybody improve their golf. Yeah,
I'm just thinking about Monday. I remember Monday's video that was coming out. We have made these videos in rural Warwickshire, but we've got a giveaway on Monday for 12 signed balls if you can guess the bird in the background, because that bird should not be there.
We don't get too many of that type of bird in the UK. If you recognise the sound, you probably don't live in the UK.
Well, I don't even know why that bird is there. I mean, there's not one bird.
It looks like there's a family of them now, but they're not familiar to where we live. It might be different if you're in somewhere in the tropics, but not.
Oh, you're giving it away now?
Well, they don't. They still
well, no, I know. But it did make me laugh when you came home that day when you were going like, "Oh my goodness me, what is that bird doing there in the middle of Warwickshire?" Anyway, are we going to dedicate today's thing to Ian Baker Finch? Our YouTube live.
Yeah,
he's
now, dedicate it to
he lives in America now. He lives in Florida, so we're going to dedicate that to him today. Because we felt his pain earlier on today.
We did, yeah. I mean, he's made a great commentator as well. So he's in front of lots of people still talking about his passion. But I think as all golfers, if you ever lose that ability to perform, I feel sorry for everybody. Sad. Maybe it would be the right thing, because it's a wonderful game of golf. If you are struggling, then
I do remember going to bed and crying after one of my rounds when
you did, you were just learning.
I went to bed, didn't I? I was like crying, and you said, "Pull yourself together. It's just a round of golf." I was like,
it's different if you're doing it for a living, I would say.
Yeah, no, it's different if you're doing it for a living. Anyway, so we hope you've enjoyed today's YouTube live with the millions of people that have watched it. millions, and thank you, Olivia, for commenting. Give us a thumbs up, let us know you're still there.
Anyway. Just want to do a quick shout out to Val.
Val,
who's just shot a 90, a best round ever. Who's at the golf course not too far from where we are. So she's been coming for coaching, struggling to break 100, and now she's I think she had 2-3 putts as well in that one. So hats off to Val, and well done. And just everybody who plays golf, enjoy it. Remember, tension is a number one enemy of the golf swing.
And and Mike with the hole-in-one.
Mike, of course, Mike, who again who's another member of Proper Golfing, had a hole-in-one, but it was a proper one because it actually went past the hole and then spun back into it, and he went and shot 1 over par gross. So 72 on a par 71. So
So
hats
it's
off to
similar to
Mike as well. Yeah.
And we
congratulations.
also need to say hello to the lady in Australia who you revolutionised her golf with the putting video.
Yeah, with
The saw grip.
with the saw grip. So I did a great video on there. So I suffered with the yips
Yeah.
for 30 years, and
Yeah.
believe me, the yips is no fun. And if the person, if you're that person struggling with yips, or you're going to a professional who's never had the yips, they won't fully understand
Yes.
what that's like. I've had that first-hand experience for way too long. I tried everything, but the saw grip revolutionised my play. We did a video of that. That's
Yeah,
on
we did.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Well worth it. I think it was how I cured the yips after 30 years, something like that. But well worth watching if you do struggle with the yips.
Yeah, I've just got to do a shout out to star of stage and screen and the Proper Golfing Academy, Steve Adams.
Hey, Steve.
The
how
star
you
of the video.
doing?
Yeah, I know you won't mind me saying, Steve, I know you won't mind me saying that when your video went live on YouTube, I said, did you have a family event? Oh, you went, no, not just a family event. I think it was the whole village. That you invited round to watch his video.
Yeah.
So if you want to invite your family round, if you want to be a star on YouTube, give us a shout. Why not?
Yeah, we're into making lots of content that really help people
Yeah,
improve
a bit
their
of
golf.
fun as
And if you fancy coming along, having a coaching session, we tend to do on a Friday morning.
Yeah.
But if you've got something special, unique that people are going to learn from, by all means, drop us a message.
Yeah. Oh, and we're also looking for ambassadors for Proper Golfing Academy as well, but we'll talk about that another time.
Yeah, we will.
Anyway, that is us for today. We hope you've enjoyed the YouTube live. I think we're probably going to do some more. I don't know if we can cope with the millions of people that are watching, but we'll do our best. Anyway, love to you all.
Take care.
Have a great day. Take care. Bye.
Bye.